Man, I can't wait to talk to Kyle again and have the gang back together and just have everybody shooting shit and having fun.
The moment Taylor saw Kyle's lack of beard, I don't think his video even like came on yet. And he goes, "Oh."
Yeah.
Mine's every bit as gray as you might suspect.
Yeah.
Wow, that's your beard.
There's a little bit of it right there, Taylor.
Look at this facial hair.
Take me home, country road.
This episode of PKA is brought to you by Casper, GetQuip.com, and Blue Chew. So, Kyle, anything new in your world?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've had a real interesting time. I spent the last 56 days, Talladega Nights, Legend of FPSKYLE, just having a real good time, meeting new, interesting people, learning all sorts of new and interesting techniques and skills and tactics.
Nice. Lifelong friends?
I mean, I'm going to see if I'm allowed to contact some of these people. We'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, made a couple of real good friends in there. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk to them because we're both felons, but I'm going to find out. Worked out a ton, did a lot of running, did a lot of dieting. I was 35 pounds. Had a real good time. It was
nice.
It was a goddamn nightmare is what it was, Taylor. It was a goddamn motherfucking nightmare. All right. I couldn't sleep the night before, right? You know, I'm up like till 3 a.m. I gotta wake up at like 5 to like get going and get there in time.
To go to prison.
To go to prison. Crack it dawn, time to get to prison. I go through these x-rays and this guard leads me up to this R&D room. I don't even know what that stands for. Maybe it's not research and development.
It's certainly not research.
I promise it's not that. It's reach arounds and dick sucking or something. And so they photo me and thumbprint me. God knows how many fingerprints the government has me at this point. I've done it at least 10 times. At least 10. Well, no. You. And so they strip me down, and there's no cavity search. I go through which I thought there might be. I was like, hey, I thought we were going to get a little closer here in this initial phase.
I want the cute one.
I brought my wet platinum and everything. I'm prepared. So they put me on an x-ray, and it x-rays me, and I'm like, I need to lose some weight. I can see in the x-ray I'm getting chunky. And so go back there. They strip me down, put me in these super lame prison clothes. Like I can't even figure out which side of the underwear is the front.
There's no dick slot?
There's no dick slot. They're brown, very ragtag at first. You could tell that I just fucking got there. So
were there orange? Was the jumpsuit orange or striped?
Green. There's no jumpsuit at all. No jumpsuit at all. The uniform is green pants, brown shirt. They give me a bed. I'm using air quotes because it ain't a bed. It's
more of a cot.
No, I would love a cot.
What was it?
It was one of those kindergarten pads that's about 3 inches thick. Like it's nap time, motherfucker. Now, for the first 5 days, I had no commissary money. We couldn't get it transferred in. My bank was blocking the transaction. Everything's fine. I'm getting to meet some people, getting to know some people. And then and there's a TV room, which I would love to go to and watch television, but you can't without a radio. You have to have a radio and headphones, which are about $100. Get my commissary money. I can get equipped at least as a level 2 character. And finally that happens. And now I got my radio. I got on the left, you got ESPN. Don't change it from ESPN. That's where it stays, motherfucker. Yeah. Just to the right of that, you got the black TV. Don't touch it, Whitey. In the middle, you got the Spanish TV. Don't touch it, Hueto. And on the right, you got the Whitey TV. Now, you don't need to know this. You could walk in and tell. Just to the right of that, there's BET or VH1. Just to the right of that, Telemundo. And just to the right of that, it's the fucking History Channel. So it doesn't take long before I didn't realize it right at first, but I was told about a week or so in that they think you're a snitch. There's immediately people who don't like me and don't want anything to do with me and are talking about doing something to me.
How'd you find this info out initially?
I was told by the friends that I made about 10 days in. They were like, yeah, no. Immediately I felt like I needed a representative from each race. So I found a white guy who was, there weren't any big tough white guys. There were only old white guys. There weren't any really young and big tough white guys. So I found an old white dude named Pops, and I made Pops my friend. Pops gave me a pair of sneakers the second day I was there. So I wouldn't have to buy any. And then I decided I need a black friend. So I noticed that this big black dude with dreads, big dude, had his radio was like busted up and he had it all taped up with tape. And I was like, hey man, what happened to your radio? And he's like, it fell and it broke. These things are shit. I was like, look, I'm leaving in 2 months. You can have my radio. And he's like, for real? I was like, yeah, you can have the headphones too. And this is $100. And to these people, if they don't, not all of them have loving family members sending $150 a week like I do. Or, a bank account that Kitty can just take some money out of and send it in. This guy, he was like, for real? Now he's my friend. Now he loves me. Now he's coming to me all the time with information and goodies. He'll bring me a pair of flip-flops. They're $25. Here you go, man. I got you something. He's like, I saw you like those Diet Pepsis. Here's a 6-pack. He's always bringing me shit. Then one day, well, let me complete my trio of protectors. Then I'm assembling the fellowship of the federal prison system here, the Tolkien style band of merry men. And then I was like, well, I definitely need a Spanish dude. And this guy Snow is sitting there watching TV one day. So I'm sitting like 2 chairs from him, and I strike up a conversation with him. Snow is a big fucking dude. And I told him what I was there for, and he thought that was bullshit. And he starts telling me what he's there for. Well, he's a member of a Mexican crime family out of Texas. He's in for trafficking, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and fleeing the police. And that's just what they caught him for. He confessed to 2 different capital crimes to me while I was there that he had not been charged or for. On the track, he runs 3 miles a day, and then he does 10 chin-ups every quarter mile with 40 pounds tied to his waist. And he changes his grip every 10 chin-ups. So it's a different grip for each set. It's either these or these or these or the wide ones. They're always different. And he explains this to me in great detail all the time. Like he's very meticulous about his routine. He's after like 2 days of knowing him, he's like, hey man, you want to go work out with me? And I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. He's like, I'll come by your cell 7 o'clock in the morning. All right, you be ready? I'm like, yeah, I'll be ready. So every day I go with him. We run our 3 miles. I'm not doing chin-ups. I run my 3 miles and have a good day. And it turned out that he was watching my back the whole time I was in there, and anybody that wanted to fuck with me, he was squashing it before I even knew anything about it. Because like the scariest thing that happened was about 10 days in, the black guy comes by my cell, and I'm sitting in bed reading. The dreaded black guy I'm giving the radio to. Yeah. He comes by and he goes, yo, man, I thought I'd let you know. There's somebody in here that's wanting to get with you. And I sit up in bed, I'm lying down, like reading like this. And I sit up and go, marketplace here. Someone's looking to get with me?
I already have a workout partner.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, they looking to get with you. I was like, well, you let them know that I'm not looking to get with anybody, and I won't go down without a fight. I was like, that's not happening. He's like, I'll pass the word on, man, but you watch your ass.
If someone said that to me in prison, thank God I'm not nearly as pretty as you are. Like, I would have been like, what do I do? Like, what's the move? Do I just go about my mile?
It stressed me out. It stressed me out so much. I didn't know what to do. I knew I couldn't tell, because you can't tell. It would be the equivalent of like if you're in like the 5th grade or something and Billy's fucking broke your pencil and you went and told Miss Walker and she goes, all right, I want the class to hear this. You've been picking on little Tommy here. Billy broke his pencil. Billy, you go outside and sit in the hall. I don't want anyone to be picking on little Tommy here anymore.
Tommy, you take that supple little ass and sit it back in your seat.
Now everybody's like, all right, bitch. That's what you do? Okay. So you can't tell. You can't. Mm-hmm. And that's why when I would talk to Kitty or Chiz or anybody, I would be like, yeah, no sweat. Because the guards are listening. And if I'm just talking to you saying, yeah, man, they're threatening me in here, the guards are going to have to be, because it's recorded and monitored, they're going to have to do something. And it's going to get back that I said something, even though I didn't go like tug on a teacher's shirt tail and cry like a bitch, I did sort of say something that got back to the guard, that got back to them.
That makes sense.
And I didn't want that, because I knew that would only make things worse. Like the worst thing that was going to happen was I was just going to have to get in a fight. We were just going to have to fucking fight it out before anybody was going to fuck me or anything. And I was going to end up in the shoe probably alongside them. And I was like, that's not that bad. As long as I put me in the shoe with them we're straight. I'll steal my books.
That's not
I'll
how
get my shower
solitary
done.
works, Kyle. Maybe you're
Oh, it's
not
two
kidding.
man. It's two. They call it
What?
solitary, but it's 2-man cell. Yeah.
Oh, I was joking. Okay, that's a surprise to me. All right.
It was to me too. It's kind of an oxymoron. Solitary housing unit. Yeah, both of you get in there.
So they could put a rapist in the shoe, and then someone smokes a cig, and they're like, "You're going in there with Rapey Ray," and you're like, "I'm so sorry for smoking." Like,
So I would take incredibly fast showers. I get clean, then I get the fuck out. And when you're ready to leave, you say, "Leave in 5," and everybody says, "All right," and then you get the fuck out, averting your eyes again. But the whole time, I'm gonna say from the time that dude told me that until like 2 weeks ago, I was terrified to go to the bathroom. The whole time. Like there was a day when I didn't catch snow in time, and I was like, I'll shower tomorrow. So yeah, the snow guy, it turned out, was like watching my back the whole time. And anytime anybody would say anything about me, or anytime I did something I shouldn't do, he would pull me to the side and be like, hey, like one time I pissed and I didn't wash my hands. He said, hey, somebody said you didn't wash your hands. I'm like, somebody told you I didn't wash my hands when I pissed? He's like, yeah, you got to wash up, man. People take that shit seriously, you know, because you're going to touch the microwave or you're going to touch the TV. And I'm like, I didn't even touch my dick. I was like, I just whipped it out. He's like, don't matter. They don't know. For all they know, you're washing your hands and pissing there. You got to wash your hands. And I'm like, I'll lather them bitches up like I'm about to go into the operating room from now on. If it'll keep anything bad from happening or anybody from yelling at me. So now I'm scrubbing the fuck out of my hands every day in there like I've got OCD. They're getting red. Like I'm looking around like,
all dry.
see how red they are? I only used hot water. Just hot. Just hot. The guy in the stall talking to his girlfriend. Yeah, babe. Yeah, I'm just chilling up in here doing what I do. How's little Ray Ray? And I'm like, all right, let's finish this piss, get out of here, don't want to be in here, don't need to hear about Ray Ray.
I don't need to hear about Ray Ray. As far as I know, there is no Ray Ray.
That's right. Is there a Ray Ray? I don't know. So he snitched on this guy over his cell phone. Well, the next day, 3 dudes beat the dog shit out of him in the cube until there's blood on the floor. And then at the end of the day, they decide that's not enough of a beating. So they chase him out to the end of the rec yard and beat the shit out of him again over snitching on them over this cell phone because they knew it was him. I think most of the time you don't know who told on you. But in this instance, they were like, that's the motherfucker right there. And plus he wasn't popular enough or protected enough or with a group of people enough that you could single this guy out and whip his ass. Kind of like I was. And
as it's like happening across the rec field or whatever, are there not guards like just watching that?
Nowhere near. Nowhere near. You could murder somebody out there, nobody know.
Was the library so shitty that you had to get your own books sent in?
The library?
Library.
Yes.
Yeah. Was the library so shit that you had to have your own books shipped in?
What just happened there? Did Taylor say it right or wrong the first time?
He said it wrong. He said library. And there is no library at Talladega Federal Prison Camp, but there is a library. And I'm just like, this is just... Then I get into a shouting match with a guy one morning at the TV room because it's just me and a black guy. I get up at 4 a.m. at this point of my stay, and it's just me and this black guy, and the TVs are on the local news, like all of them are, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck what's going on in Montgomery, Alabama. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna change the white TV to Everybody Loves Raymond. I want to watch the sitcom. He goes, yo. We watch the news in the morning. And I was like, well, watch it on one of those TVs, man. There's 3 fucking TVs here. We watch the news. He's about to crack. I found out later he's been in there for 14 years and he's got 2 more. He's got 2 more. This maniac named Chico.
He's coming out soon.
He takes them unless he has a fucking conniption fit over the morning news while I'm away. Yeah. They trusted me with the locations of the hidden knives. I was trusted with that information. So if you want to slice up like an onion, which is contraband, by the way, we're not supposed to have onions. Or if you want to make your own relish, because there isn't relish out of a pickle, I've seen people nibble those items down and into chunks. The guys but I was trusted with the sacred location of 2 of the 3 knives in the dormitory. There's a currency in prison. They're called Macs. M-A-C-S. Macs. And I didn't know what a Mac was for the longest time. And I didn't want to ask. I felt like a dummy. And then I realized it about 4 or 5 weeks in. Macs are packages of mackerel fillets.
Oh,
Ew.
I was ungodly confident it was mac and cheese. You know, the Kraft in the blue
Yeah.
box. I was like, I can't believe Kyle didn't figure this out.
I guess if
No.
these guys are working out all the time, they need their protein, their lean meats, and so they want their max.
What it is, it's a 70-cent item in the commissary. So it's close to $1, and it's also one of the cheapest things in the commissary, and it's meat. And they all ate it. It's what they all ate. It was disgusting. I only tried it once. Like Snow would cook for me, and I ate some of it, and I was just like, this is not for me. This is fucking gross. So like they gamble with Macs. They loan each other Macs for like favors and any number of things. Like they bet on football games. You know, I got 15 Macs that the Bills are going to cover the spread. They'll play poker with Macs. You know, I'll buy in for 20 Macs, and he'll have some like chips that they make out of tearing playing cards in half. Each of those is a chip. Each of those is a Mac.
Mhm.
And I couldn't understand why these motherfuckers were eating Macs, because there was tuna in there, and what I ate the whole time was chili. I found right away. Yeah,
Thumbs down, Kyle.
this isn't Jackie's chili. This is prison chili. This is good chili.
Okay.
It's a company called Brushy Creek. I wrote it down because I want more of it. That's how good it was. All right. I stopped going to the cafeteria the third day I was there. Not because the food was bad. It was good. It was like high school food.
Huh.
It was just like high school food. They had
Expect
hamburgers. They had hamburgers and hot dogs on Memorial Day. You know, they had hamburgers once a week, fried chicken once a week. They'd have baked ziti. It was pretty good. You know, Swedish meatballs one day. Breakfast was gravy and biscuits, grits, oatmeal, stuff like that. Scrambled eggs some days. Pancakes once a week. It was fine, but I didn't feel like it was good for me. So like 3 days in, whenever I start working out with Snow, I'm like, I'm going to go on a diet. So I averaged out to about 375 calories a day for the 2 months I was there. I did the math, because a bag of chili is 300 calories, and I'd eat one bag a day. But most days I would skip at least one day. I would eat today, not eat tomorrow, eat the next day. So I would eat like every other day. But one week I went 4 days without eating. And
Jesus Christ.
yeah, because they're not doing a lot. I'd run my 3 miles during in the morning, and then you're just like sitting there, like reading or watching TV or sleeping. That's all you're doing all day.
On this, so you said you were getting up at 4 a.m. Were you napping? What's the napping situation like?
Yeah. So the schedule is this: at 5:20 in the morning, the lights come on, boom, bright as fuck, fluorescent, right in my eyes, because I'm on the top bunk looking straight up, and that wakes you right up. You're up now, and at 7:30, your bed is supposed to be made. Now you can still lie in that bed, but it has to be made beneath you. So, and if you get caught still in the covers, the guard caught me one day and he went, ding, ding, ding. You need to make the bed and get over them covers, buddy. I was like, no problem, man. I just overslept. All right, good day. And just kept moving along. You know, it's not a big deal.
Mhm.
But that was the only time it ever happened, because it was really the only time I've ever done it. It was a fluke that he caught me. So I had a sheet, and I would cover up with the sheet to take a nap. And I had a pillow that I made by taking a sweatshirt and stuffing it full of like regular shirts. So I had a decent pillow, and I would nap a lot. I would try to sleep the day away as much as I could. Like the middle part of the day, when there was like, I'd already eaten or I'd already read for like 4 hours, and I was just, you know, I needed to just chill out, and nothing on TV, or midway through my stay, they took the televisions away during certain daily hours so that people would work their jobs. You know, I would just sleep through that. And it was,
You're trying to create the stasis they have in sci-fi, where you can wake up 2 months later.
yes, he was 20 years old and like fit. And he was doing like 2 years for cocaine distribution. He had an ounce of coke he was selling, basically. Real nice guy. He was one of the few people who was intelligent enough to have a normal conversation like I'm having with you guys. Like, I was like, what kind of TV shows do you like, man? He goes, Trailer Park Boys, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Parks and Rec. And I'm like, my nigga. All right.
It's a winner.
Don't say that.
That's what he said. That's what he said. He said, keep it down. Keep it down. Just me and you. Then David leaves, and then it's just me and Greg.
Lucky
David
you.
had enough of Greg.
So
I asked David, I was like, hey man, why'd you move? He's like, man, I couldn't take much more of him. He was like, "How do you stand it?" I was like, "I didn't know I had an option." I think I could have left, but that would have been pretty obvious why I was leaving, right? I didn't want to be rude to Greg. And Greg would
Greg's
be
gonna
like,
walk over to your new son and be like, "My former Sally about to catch an ass whooping."
Getting the lock
realize
in
he
the
grievously underestimated Greg.
The
Oh, now
shins are in
Maselli's
the
nose
public
bleeding.
area.
Sally gonna wish he hadn't fucked with Greg.
How's my hair smell now?
All right. About to start this Monday morning. Yes, sir. Start another day, Sally. You call your cellmates Sellies.
Okay.
So he's talking to me, but not really talking to me. I found out quickly that he doesn't expect a response from me. Just maybe a nod or an acknowledgement or a smile. Yeah, Sally. My Sally about to get on up out of here. About to get on up out, get to the house.
He's dictating your life too.
Yeah.
My Sally feeling a little constipated. I can tell.
I saw you eating them prunes. Eat a few of them. You gonna poop it out. It's like I got Bill Cosby sitting right next to me, 24 hours a fucking day. But
It's so
just
funny
super
that someone
annoying.
that's just annoying as fuck is in prison too, and the same rules apply. Where it's like, God, this guy, bless his heart, but he fucking sucks.
Yeah, he sucked so much. Nobody liked him. Everybody, what did my Snow called him kerosene because he thought he smelled like kerosene. But Snow can't pronounce kerosene, so it sounded more like cherosene. Snow, when Snow said shank, like a shank you'd stab somebody with, he said chank. Yeah, they come at me with a chank. He come in with chank in the kitchen. I was gonna box him. I said, I don't need no blade, Holmes. I got these bows to cut you up. And I'm like, all right, man. Sounds good. Snow's also
going for a run.
This is during the run. During the run, he would tell me crime stories. He would tell me all his criminal history, even that the federal government didn't know about. He told me all. First of all, man's 48 years old. He has a son 2 years older than me. 2 years older than me. I'll save you the math. He was 13 and a half.
Thank you. It was incalculable over here.
Had his first son when he was 13, and he married that girl. But he kept some bitches on the side. You got to. And he's just telling me all of his exploits, both criminal, personal, family life. Talking about the time they drove by, shot him, and we stopped, and he shows me the bullet wounds. Talking about this time they stabbed him in medium security, and he shows me this stab wound that looks like Frankenstein fucking stitched it up.
God damn.
All this crazy shit. Talking about all the fights he's gotten into. He almost got into 3 fights while I was there, but people would back down when he came after him. Like they would apologize and like put their hands up. He was just that
big from his pull-up regimen.
I mean, he was just down to fight, and if you get in a fight in there, you're in trouble. And what did he say? You got to represent. That's what he'd say. I was like, man, you're about to get out. You got to keep your head down. He's like, got to represent. And I was like, who are you representing? The family. And I'm like,
oh, you said he was part of a Mexican crime family.
He's part of a Mexican crime family. They tried to charge him for an extra blanket in the commissary, or not the commissary, the laundry. He said, yo, you trying to tax the family? Do I need to let my people know? And he was like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, you better ask around. I'll be back for my blanket. He came back. I saw him an hour later with a blanket. He's like, you want a blanket? I'll get you one too. I'm like, I don't want to be involved with the family. I don't need a blanket at all. You can have mine if that's what it takes, but don't involve me with your blanket crime family nonsense, man.
3 mile running, right?
Yeah.
If Snow had offered to take me on 3 mile runs, I'd be like, where are we going to start? Are we going to start at did you run 3 miles right out of the gate and do it next to Snow?
Well, there's breaks when he does his chin-ups.
So that's what you needed to get 3 miles next to him.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
had rests.
We would take a break, and he would, however long it took him to do 10 chin-ups, and it took him a while because he took a net and put the 2 medicine balls in it, 20 pounds each, and then he's got like an S hook type thing. I can't do it with my hands, and one of the hooks goes on a belt that he had custom made. There's a lot of racism in there for sure. Snow was incredibly racist. Like when I said that my cellmate smelled bad, Snow was like, yeah, the blacks, they stink, right? And I was like, it doesn't have anything to do with his race other than the fact that, he's using a hair treatment that's specifically for black people, but he chose the stinky one. There There's plenty of them that smell fine, I'm sure, because not everybody smells like this guy.
You
But
actually
I'll-
would offer up like a little response to him. I feel like
No!
I'd be so
No!
afraid. I'd be like, "Yeah, dude, super stinky. What else do you believe that I also?"
No, it was the opposite.
I have a
only what we
suspicion
believe,
he's a bad
so.
swimmer.
They can't swim for shit either. Low credit scores, having motherfuckers. No, it's the opposite because we're not alone on the track. The black people are the majority. I'm gonna say, if I had to break down the racial breakdown, I would say 15% white, 10% Mexican, and the rest is black. Right, 75% black or something like that. So as we're going around the track, we're surrounded by black guys, and he's literally saying, "Yeah, the blacks, they got no honor. They'll fuck their own sister." And I'm like, he goes, "Right?" And I go, "Mm-hmm." Right? No, and he's older, and I think his hearing wasn't that great because I had to really speak up, and like look at him. The funny thing about this guy, not only was his English not 100%, neither was his Spanish. I don't know where he's from.
Was he saying the blacks, or was he saying some other more?
He wouldn't.
rude words.
He only used the N word one time when he said that he's like, "You can't call him the N word though," and I was like, "Yeah, of course you can't." Well, I didn't say that, but I was like, "Yeah, they don't seem to like."
Where
that.
was he at the top of this year for me?
It's hilarious because to him that was like he showed up in prison and like something happened. He's like, "Well, I guess that's off the table."
Snow's a genuinely nice guy. I'll say this one more thing about Snow. Snow doesn't eat in the cafeteria. He goes to the cafeteria and he gets a meal for the old man, and he gives that meal to him. He only gets one meal, and he gives that meal to this old man who can't make it to the cafeteria, and nobody else is going to bring him any food. And then he cooks for himself, and he would offer me food every day. And he's a good cook. He would make breakfast burritos. He would steal eggs out of the kitchen and onions out of the kitchen, and it would be like a tortilla with refried beans, Spam, scrambled eggs, and onions. It was good. It
Sounds
was
good.
fucking. It was. It actually. I mean, I don't love Spam, but like in prison, it's like hell yeah, give me some more of that. He made me a nacho bowl the last weekend I was there. We'd been talking about it for a month and a half. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make you a nacho bowl on the last week," because he knew I was on a diet. And he just get this big bowl of like Doritos and chips with tortilla with refried beans and chili and also like steak. He made carne asada in prison in a microwave. It was absurd. Nice guy.
Is Snow the one you offered your radio to? Is that how?
No, that's a black guy. I honestly don't know the black guy.
That was the dreadlock guy.
Yeah, dreadlock guy. When I finally gave him that radio day before yesterday, I told him, I'll give it to you on the night I'm about to leave. I gave him the radio. He couldn't believe I had actually fulfilled my promise. He was like, "May God bless you and all your future endeavors."
For $100 radio.
He's like holding my hand, like I'm shaking his hand. "May God bless you and all your future endeavors, young man." Folks in here,
really
they
nice.
say
I'm,
one
like, tearing
thing.
up.
They say one thing and they do another, and you are honest man, and I appreciate that because that's a rare thing in the world, and that's damn rare in this lockup right here. Thank you, young man. And I was like, I guess I'm an honest guy, man. I've intended on giving you this radio the whole time. It was my idea. Like I don't want this radio. But I'm just like, yeah, man, you enjoy.
Did you have other things to give out? Like maybe
Yeah,
the rest of your
I gave shit out to
toothpaste,
everybody.
clothes?
Yeah. Greg, my cellmate, he got my cup, my reading light, my dishware, my Tupperware, my knives and forks, and my shampoo. Snow, he got all my condiments, my mayonnaise, my ketchup, my mustard, my sriracha sauce, my spicy Asian sauce, like all my condiments and stuff that was actually kind of valuable. Little things that I just passed out to random people. Oh, here's some extra earbuds. Here's a crossword book. Anybody who needed a thing. And
Did you ever go to the commissary with the purpose of buying things to hand out and kind of ingratiate yourself to the population there, where you're like, max for, hey, 10 of you, each of you get 5 max?
Yeah, no, but I was going to do that on the last day, but it wasn't my dormitory's day to shop, and they wouldn't let me shop. And I was like, I'm leaving tomorrow. Just let me shop. I'll go last. I'll be last in line. He's like, no. I'm like, all right, well, fuck you, you piece of shit. All right, I'll take the money out of your stupid prison system and spend it in a mall somewhere. By the way, I've got this debit card. I'm not going to show you. It's out in the car somewhere. It's hideous. I have this debit card. It's the most bootleg ghetto shit ever. It's like my mugshot on like a Citibank debit card. It says like Metro Bank or something like that. It's got $87 left on it, which is my commissary balance. I'm going to use that for online purchases. I am not. That's not the card you hand to the maitre d' at Morton's.
Oh, this will pay for half of my first steak.
Juice did a thing. I want to talk about at the beginning. What is it?
Yes.
Gum tracker?
You got an interruption in less than 30 seconds.
Ah,
That's
fuck off. Everybody interrupts. I'm the only one who takes shit for it. You can all suck a dick.
We're 30
Suck a
seconds.
dick. Suck a dick.
You're
Gaggle on it. No, I am. There was a time when like everyone interrupted everyone. I was the only guy that took shit, and then I started like backing off completely.
Oh my god, that is classic. Kyle, what were you talking about a little earlier?